Final talk, final talk, final talk with Tavis, with Tavis.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis, and I'm Tavis. I want to wish all of you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you do to celebrate this time of year. I hope that you're having a grand time. I know that I am, because this is popcorn. I'm having a grand time because we're having 2 weeks off from school, and I'm very, very happy. Woo, Lord Jesus. Been working on winter programs for the kids, teaching, dealing with family, just everyday things that we go through as adults. And sometimes I hate adulting. Do you ever hate adulting, being an adult? I teach kids. I said, you all should just be so happy that you're children. All you have to do is get up and come to school and go home. You don't have to deal with car payments and rent and bills and bills and more bills. It never stops. Never stops. Well, I'm grateful, hopeful, and I'm feeling really good. And I wanted to share with you today, I just cannot get over the fact how much I love this book. This video is all about, not all about, but a majority of this video is about My Name is Barbara. Look how thick this book is. Look at the back. Now, when this book first came out a few weeks ago, I said, I can't wait to do a video on this book. I can't wait to do a review about the book. Child, this book is about 1,000 pages. So I had to just kind of digest it. And also, I purchased the audiobook as well. So I'm listening to Barbra Streisand read her book, and it's really an amazing story. She has so many great stories. I mean, every project that she has done musically, she speaks on that. Every movie she's made and directed, she speaks on that. She talks about the loves in her life, the ups and downs with her mother, her non-present father, because he had died. I mean, I tell you, this is an awesome book. I would highly recommend, if you like to listen to books, I would highly recommend that you go to, is it Audible? Or go to some type of streaming platform and download her reading the book to you, because she adds a little bit more, if you will, flavor to her reading of it. She has, I think, a little bit of commentary that's not in the book. She also has clips of the music. So when she mentions a specific song that she worked on that she wants to talk about, you hear that piece. She just lets you hear a sample of what she's talking about. Now, before I get into this, let me tell you about some records that I got. Before we get into all things Barbra, I was so happy to find this Diana Ross original TV soundtrack, when she did her soundtrack back in the 70s. I mean, this is an awesome collector's item vinyl piece to have. We have on here the Jacksons, we have Danny Thomas, Bill Cosby, if we want to talk, look, I shouldn't even say his name because he has so much negative stuff around him, my Lord, the things that he's been accused of doing, and oh God, I shouldn't say accused, the things that he did. That's why I coughed. Thank you, Lord. But this is great. Of course, it's on Motown. It's a great album. And it's just her live performance on her show, and it's on record. And I'm so glad to have this. I also found the Bee Gees' main course. So this is when I think it was, yeah, this is when Barry Gibb finds that falsetto voice and he really lets it go on the Nights on Broadway and Jive Talking, and he lets out that new sound that really led to a new dimension of their music. So this has Nights on Broadway, Jive Talking, Wind of Change. Of course, my favorite two are Nights on Broadway and Jive Talking. Just an awesome record. Let's see what's on the inside. Here's a picture of them. Can you see that? And of course, the record itself. Okay, very great condition. I'm glad to have that to my addition. Let's go ahead and talk about my BARBRA records. So I went to when I've got the book, and I'll show it again. When I got the book, I said, as she was reading her book to me, and I had my earbuds in, just enjoying it. It's a great way to go to sleep. You know, I can listen to her talk and I just fall asleep and I wake up and she's still talking. It's just, wow, I was like, who, Barbra Streisand still talking? Because it's such a long book. But I have digested a lot of this, and so I had to buy the music that she mentions about. I must say, always have been a Barbra Streisand fan, but not to the extent that I am now. I don't know why. I think I really appreciate her even more because after hearing her talk about her life and what she's been through and how she's overcome all the different challenges that she had to deal with because she was a woman, because she is a woman. She was treated, if she didn't have the willpower and the chutzpah that it takes to make it in this world, she would not have accomplished all that she has. So let me start out with her best-selling album. It is with Barry Gibb. This album, Guilty, and I love how in the book she talks about the making of this record. Oh, she says it was the most easiest record to make because Barry Gibb took control, and she was really thinking about some upcoming projects that she wanted to do, especially Yentl. She talks a lot about Yentl in this book. And so someone had mentioned to her producers or friends, you know, it's time to make a record. Let's go see the Bee Gees. So she sees the Bee Gees, she loves them. She gets Barry Gibb to come over. They talk about making a record, and she calls him. And she said, I think he drops the phone or something. He's really excited to know that she wants him to write music for her. And so she said the only thing that she had to deal with regarding this album was the song Guilty and the creation of the artwork. The song Guilty, which I love. Oh, I love Guilty. They had enough material to make a record, but Barbra felt like that something was missing. She said, we need something a little bit more. We need something bossa nova, something upbeat, something is missing. So Barry brought in Guilty that was written by his brothers as well. So that's the only song on this album that's written by the three brothers. She says, oh man, that's wonderful. Let's do it. And let's call the album Guilty because it brings so many ideas of what you think guilty is. What are we guilty of? What am I guilty of? What are you guilty of? What are the people who are listening guilty of? It's a great concept. And the album just went complete. People went crazy over the record, especially me. I think this is when I really began to understand Barbra Streisand, when this album came out. That's when I began to really like her. Really, 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 really like her. Love her voice and her presentation and just her style, the way she holds notes for a long time. It is just worthy of a great listen. If you haven't listened to this record in a while, take some time to listen to it. And she said that during some sound mixing or something, she had on this white outfit. And she said, you know what? I love how she just takes control when she feels the need to. She says, you know, I think we should do the cover art in which we're both in white, and let's get a white backdrop and just do that. And she found someone to go get some white paper, and they sent for Barry Gibb's clothing in his hotel because he had some white pants and a white shirt, and they did it right on the spot. Never would have thought that. So she shares everything. Barbara shares everything about her projects in the book. I must say I'm not familiar with this album, but this is Lazy Afternoon in the 70s. I'm not familiar with this album. I haven't even listened to it, but I still had to get it. A beautiful cover. It almost reminds me of Janis Joplin. Is it just me? It looks like a Janis Joplin record. But this was in 1975. So she was up and coming with A Star Is Born. I tell you, that book, she talks about that movie. Speaking of A Star Is Born, here we go. This came out in when? 1976. I had to rewatch the movie. What a great film. She talks about some scenes that were cut from the movie that she wished that she could put back in. She said Chris Christopherson was just a beautiful man. She goes into so much detail. She said he was a gorgeous man, Lord have mercy. She loved him. I think they may have done a little thing too, you know what I'm saying? But I remember when Star Is Born came out, and I loved it. And I think I had some aunts. I think it was my Aunt Marveline who loved it as well. And at the end well, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, when Chris Christopherson, or when his character dies, it's just a very moving scene. It's very, very moving. I'll go ahead and tell you. He dies in a car crash because he's just an alcoholic. He leaves her one morning and says goodbye, and she says, I can't wait to see you, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're kissing and they love each other. And he goes out and just starts driving really fast and has a car accident. And that scene, and when she goes to see him in the highway, it is such a moving scene. And she speaks about that in the book as well, on how she really put her all into that particular scene. This album is called Memories. Of course, it's a compilation album. It has memories. I'm thinking about memories of the sun in the moonlight. No, how does memories go? Memories of the way we were. You know what? I think I'm losing my mind. The way we were is not memories. Anyway, look, I don't know what's going on. My mind has just went blank. But she also has the song, You Don't Bring Me Flowers. In the book, she tells how that song came to be. Are you familiar with how that song came to be? She had recorded that song. Neil Diamond had recorded that song too. It just happened to be in the same key. A DJ was going through a situation with a relationship, and he loved the two versions, and he spliced together and made their two solos of that song into a duet. It got a great big buzz from his listening audience. So much so that Barbara and Neil Diamond decided to go in the studio and make it real. And she talks about when they sang the song on the Grammys and how she's extremely nervous. Y'all, you've got to get that book. I highly recommend it. She talks about, No More Tears with Donna Summer. To me, that was the most endearing part, one of the most endearing parts of the book. So I'm going to share it with you. So Donna Summer had just done the movie The Main Event. And these two great disco artists or disco writers, I forgot their names, my heavens, you'll see their names right here. They want her to do a song called No More Tears. Actually, they want it to be Enough is Enough. And it comes from her Wet album. So she listened to it and she said something was missing. You know, she's a take control woman. I love it. Artistically, and yeah, artistically, she has what she knows what she wants, and she shares that. Something is missing. She said, add some water to it. So they add that beginning to it, which is very slow. Ooh, it's raining, it's pouring. My love life is boring me to tears after all these years. And here comes Donna Summer. How did Donna Summer become a part of that project? Well, those writers of the song have been working with Donna Summer, and they suggested that she use Donna to be a duet artist with her on the song. What a great pairing. And she says she met Donna and her son loved Donna Summer so much she had to do it. So they're in the recording studio and they sing these high notes and they're rehearsing and they're recording and blah, blah, blah. And they start hitting these high notes. Another tear. And the note is so high and so long. And Barbara has her head back. She talks about this in the book. She's singing, she has her head back, and Donna's sitting by her on a stool. And Barbara's singing that note, and she looks around, and Donna Summer is nowhere to be found. Donna Summer had fallen off the stool, lost consciousness. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because it's a funny story. The way Barbara says it. She doesn't laugh about it, but the way she said it, she says, "Where's Donna?" Donna's on the floor. Donna was waving people away. I'm okay. But this is what Barbara said that Donna said. I'm on the floor and I'm looking up at you and you still holding that note. I thought that was hilarious. And so, but Donna was okay. And Barbara Streisand says how the last time she saw Donna and how she didn't realize that she had died so quickly and she missed her and they had a great relationship and she was so proud that she did that song with Donna Summer. That was a great story. And this is another record by Barbra Streisand called Emotion. She shares in the book that she really didn't feel this record. She didn't feel that it was something that I think she was like kind of made to do it because they wanted her to be even more popish and kind of to get with the times. And Earth, Wind and Fire, Maurice White from Earth, Wind and Fire did some productions on here. And also when I listen to it, it doesn't really sound like songs that she would sing. So it kind of seems out of step for her, and she even mentions that. So I don't know if she was quite happy with this record, but it came out and it did its thing. I can't remember any of the hits on here. And of course I have The Way We Were, memories, like the colors of my mind, memories of the way we were. Everyone, I must tell you, if you don't have this book, please get it. I mean, it may cost you a pretty penny. I got it at Target for, I think, about $29. It's worth it. If you can't afford it, get the Audible version. Get her reading it to you. It is fantastic. But this book is filled with nuggets. Just everything that has happened in her life. I think she said it was a 10-year process. A 10-year process of your memoirs. I tell you, what a jewel. This is my favorite book of the year. It is my favorite all-time book of the year. And I must tell you this, Guilty is my favorite album of Barbra Streisand's. This is my second favorite, her Broadway album. And she speaks highly on the importance of going back to her roots when she recorded this record. And she utilizes Stephen Sondheim, the great songwriter. Somewhere is a Beautiful Song. Every song on here is great. And it was a big hit, this album. Oh my God, going back to her roots after she had went pop and did disco. And then she said, let me go back to where it all started. So this is new. So let's open it together. You and me together, bit by bit, putting it together. That's the first song on the album. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Here it is. Here it is. She even talks about how she did the artwork or the cover. The woman knows what she wants. She knows what she wants. Okay, we have some, oh, that's blank. We have some pictures here of the people she worked with in the studio. And of course, we have the record itself. Lots of words, the lyrics. Yeah. Being alive, being alive. The woman has been with Columbia Records for her entire singing career. Can you believe that? Columbia Records. Wow. And she's 81 years old. Or should I say, 81 years young. I don't know if I did a good job reviewing this book. I love how she talks about each project that she did, what she went through, the men who did her wrong, the executives, the producers who did her wrong. I mean, wow. It's just amazing how she overcame all of that, all of those burdens in her life. And tonight I'm going to be watching Yentl. I think that what I feel from reading this book and listening to her on the audiobook is that Yentl is her crowning glory. That's what she really put a lot of emphasis on, to be the director and to star in it and to sing in it. I mean, it was just really something to behold. And I remember when it came out and I wasn't really into it. You know, I was into Diana Ross and gospel music, but now it's like, wow, what a life she has lived. So everyone, my name is Barbara. It's worthy. It's a great read. It's a long read. It's worthy to read. Get it. You will love it. Well, thank you for joining me. And as always, with music, with great artists like Barbra Streisand and great books, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, be inspired, and stay inspired.